Hi, I'm Paul Sherratt, founder and CEO of Glove Glue, and we often get asked about glove development. How did we get into goalkeeping gloves? There are so many brands out there, there's so many different goalkeeping gloves. How do you create a point of difference? And it's a really important question for us. I was involved in one of the world's leading goalkeeper brands for about 11 or 12 years before I developed Glove Glue, and learnt a lot during that time, learnt a lot about what goes into making a top-end goalkeeping glove. And the key for me was to take that experience and try and find something unique and different from a Glove Glue point of view. And it took a while, but I think we've cracked it. I think we've created something very, very different, something that the marketplace hasn't seen before. And the starting point was, for me, was to look at palms. I was in a previous role and we spent a lot of time talking about and looking at latex, the latex of a goalkeeping glove. How do we create the best latex out there in the marketplace? The grippiest, the stickiest, the latex that's going to last the longest. But why latex? Why does a goalkeeping glove need to have a latex palm? Was my starting point. So I started to look at other sports, other glove wearing sports around the world where latex wasn't used, but the grip on these gloves was absolutely unbelievable. And the first one of those that I looked at was in a marketplace that's really strong for us, and that's the USA. The USA is a great marketplace for Glove Glue. We've got fantastic penetration through most of the soccer specialty stores throughout the US, the big chains like soccer.com. So US was a logical point. And NFL was a logical sport to look at, American football. We're seeing some amazing catches from some of these NFL footballers. And why are we seeing that? What's happening? How are they managing to make these amazing one-handed, over-the-arm saves? So I looked more closely at the palm technology, and all American football palms are made of silicone. So it started to make me think about, well, why can't we create a football goalkeeping glove, a soccer goalkeeping glove with silicone palms? So off we went to R&D. Off I went with my designer, my glove designer. Off I went with the factory, talking to the factory. And off I went with a sample of a glove that I found to form the basis of a goalkeeping glove. And it was a diving glove. This was a neoprene diving glove that I found in the marketplace that people use for deep sea diving. And it was really tight fitting, it was a really lightweight glove. So we went down to the factory and we started to develop this concept of a silicone palm goalkeeping glove. And what we ultimately created is what we call dry skin. It's the Glove Glue dry skin glove. And it does indeed have a silicone palm. And there are all sorts of benefits from a silicone palm. First and foremost, it doesn't degrade, it doesn't chip, you get latex, gets chunks ripped out of it. That doesn't happen with silicone. Second thing is the grip, therefore, is kept and maintained and is really, really strong. Third thing is, look at the insane things that we can do on a palm. We can print on silicone in a way that you can't print with latex. So there are a lot of benefits. There's a few downsides. One of the downsides is it performs amazingly in the dry, but doesn't really perform so well in the wet. But that's fine. This is our dry skin glove. It's the world's first dry skin glove. It's got a silicone palm and it's created for dry conditions. So that was the first innovation, looking at silicone palms. The second thing was, what else can we do from a palm point of view? What else can we create that's going to be something very, very different? So I started looking at the grip, but in a different way. What about an anti-grip? What about a glove that actually has very little grip? Now, why would you need that? Well, of course, for technique and development. If you have very little grip on your goalkeeping gloves, then the key thing is going to be technique and focus. It's going to be all about concentration. It's all going to be all about making sure that you have the correct technique to catch that ball, and you're not necessarily aided by the phenomenal grip of a glove. It's the complete opposite of what most goalkeeper brands have tried to do since goalkeeping gloves evolved in the 1970s. And therefore it was trying to find a property, something that had this anti-grip inside the technology. Well, we'd already found a glove, we'd already found a neoprene glove, a scuba diving glove, that we'd already used as the basis for our Skinn development. And therefore it wasn't difficult to say, hey, guess what, why don't we take the neoprene palm of that scuba diving glove and let's see whether that has anti-grip properties. And guess what, it does. And so we were able to launch on the market our Bearskin. This is our anti-grip technology. And Bearskin, therefore, with anti-grip means that it's all about technique, it's all about development, it's all about concentrating on catching the ball, as opposed to necessarily having a latex palm or a grippy palm that enables you to catch the ball easier. So we had our dry skin, we had our Bearskin, and of course it was important that we looked at all the conditions that the goalkeeper plays in. And out of those two key conditions, one is a dry day and one is a wet day, and therefore the obvious evolution and development was wet skin. And what can we do to create the ultimate grip in wet weather? When it's raining, when it's really, really difficult to catch the ball. And we actually went back, having tried various materials, and we went back to latex. But we did something fundamentally different with our latex. We took our Glove Glue Aqua Grip spray, a chemical that had been developed in its own right to spray onto any form of latex glove, a spray that already means that in wet weather conditions the performance of the glove is enhanced. And we took our Glove Glue Aqua Grip technology and we impregnated it inside a latex, and we created therefore the Aqua Grip palm for our wet skin glove. And this is a wet weather glove. It's grippy, it's stable, it's lightweight, but it is a traditional latex. And that really finished off our family. We ended up with the dry skin for dry conditions, with a silicone palm, the Bearskin for anti-grip, and the wet skin for wet weather conditions. How long did that development take is a question we often get asked. It took around 18 months from the start of that project to the end of that project, but it doesn't end here. It doesn't end with these three grip technologies. We are constantly evolving and developing. We're looking at the moment at another grip technology, which again has never been seen in goalkeeping gloves. We're in the middle of that R&D. It's going to take 12 to 18 months to push that, to evolve it, to test it. We test it with the pros, we test it with the amateurs, we test it with all age groups, we test it with the boys, the girls, the men, the women. But at the end of that process, maybe, just maybe, there'll be another addition to the Skinn family. But the exciting thing for me is that we've created a product range here and a range of gloves that are unique in the marketplace, that are very different in the marketplace. And they're allowing us as a business and a brand to grow at an incredible rate of knots. So thanks to everybody that's already supported us on our Skinn journey. But watch this space, because there's more to come.